The biology of true forgiveness, releasing the stored hurt. Welcome to this theoretical introduction to one of the profound themes we work with in DeepRelease, hurt and forgiveness. This is a space where everyone is welcome, exactly as you are. Whether you approach this journey from a deeply religious path where forgiveness is a sacred duty, from a spiritual perspective of alignment and energy, or from a practical standpoint of personal development and relational growth, this work is for you. We all share the same human nervous system, and we all know the heavy weight of being hurt. Most of us have experienced being hurt by someone we trusted, a friend, a family member, a partner, or a colleague. The natural response is often to try to move on, to tell ourselves it's okay, or even to genuinely forgive. But here's perhaps the most important thing to understand. Intellectual forgiveness and emotional, body-level release are two very different things. You can make a conscious, noble decision in your mind to forgive someone. You can even act in complete alignment with that forgiveness, showing kindness and moving forward. Yet, when you hear their name, see a picture, or find yourself in a similar situation, you might still feel a sudden tightening in your chest, a knot in your stomach, or a flash of heat. You might find your mind replaying old conversations at night, searching for peace. Please know that this is not a weakness. It is not a failure or a lack of willpower. This is simply the difference between a mental decision and a physical, biological release. The mind has said, "I forgive," but the body hasn't received the memo yet. The body is still holding on to the protection. To understand why this happens, we can look at how a deep hurt or heartbreak settles into our biology. When we experience an emotional wound, it is not just a psychological event. It is a high-impact somatic experience. If the overwhelm of that moment is too intense, it gets trapped in our inner senses, common faculty, imagination, thought, and comprehension. Ideally, our inner sense of comprehension digests our life experiences, helping us integrate them so they can become quiet past history. But when a painful hurt occurs, the inner sense of comprehension often gets blocked by the sheer intensity of the emotion. Because the experience cannot be fully digested, it gets stored in the nervous system as an unintegrated, highly charged loop. As long as that emotional charge lives in your flesh and bones, the experience remains alive in the looping brain. Your amygdala doesn't know the difference between the past and the present. So, even though you have forgiven on the surface, any tiny trigger that reminds your nervous system of the original event will reactivate the entire stress response. The body remembers. Over time, these unintegrated hurts and heartbreaks add up. They become a heavy burden of chronic physical tension and hidden somatic charge. This hidden weight quietly increases the baseline stress in your body, drains your psychological energy, and subtly alters how you show up in your social life, perhaps causing you to stay guarded or distant without realizing why. For those who follow spiritual or religious paths, this can also become a painful spiritual burden. You might feel a deep inner conflict, thinking, if I am a good person, why do I still feel this resentment or pain? Why can't I just let it go? This internal split between what you think you should feel and what your body actually feels creates an exhausting friction. The DeepRelease approach recognizes this friction. Rather than focusing outward on the other person, on whether they deserve it or what they did, the practice gently directs your attention inward. We view forgiveness primarily as a profound act of love and liberation that you perform for yourself. This meditation is designed to help you release these stored energy blocks step by step. We do not analyze the story. Instead, we use precise somatic release techniques to manually discharge the physical armor where the hurt has nested itself. When you allow the body to release these physical blocks, something beautiful happens. Your inner sense of comprehension finally unlocks, and the experience is digested. The memory itself doesn't disappear, but it loses its emotional grip on you. What was once an active, painful wound becomes simply a chapter in your story. By clearing the body, you first and foremost free yourself from the prison of old triggers, and naturally, you free those around you from the burden of your unexpressed pain. It is worth noting that hurt comes in many forms. Sometimes it is a single dramatic event. Sometimes it is a long, quiet pattern of subtle wounds that accumulated over decades. The hurt might come from a specific person, a group, or from life circumstances that simply felt deeply unfair. All of these are valid starting points. You do not need to have fully processed or understood the hurt intellectually before you begin the session. The body already knows exactly where the pain is stored, even when the mind is still trying to make sense of things. What you do need is simply a gentle willingness to turn your attention inward with curiosity and kindness rather than judgment. Please be patient with your nervous system. For some, a release happens quickly and easily from the very first session. For others, it takes more time, more repetition, and more practice to melt away the older, thicker layers of protection. Both paths are completely normal and beautiful. Every single time you sit down and do this work, you are actively contributing to your own freedom. As you build your practice, you may notice that your relationship to forgiveness changes altogether. What once felt like a constant struggle, an act of will requiring enormous moral effort, begins to feel more natural. It becomes less about sacrifice and more about a clean, spacious clearing of your inner home. You deserve to be free from the weight of old hurts. And that freedom is something you can actively cultivate, one session at a time. If you are already working through our program, Journey 1, Relational Freedom, this session is a profound milestone in clearing your somatic lens. And if you are watching this somewhere and haven't joined the full course yet, this specific meditation is waiting for you inside our platform. It is designed to help you bridge the gap between mental forgiveness and true bodily release, opening up paths to genuine relational freedom. To experience this deep relief for yourself, feel free to click the link below this video to explore Journey 1, Relational Freedom. Before we begin, find a comfortable, quiet space where you can remain undisturbed. Take a deep, grounding breath into your chest and stomach. Meet your body with absolute gentleness and prepare to let go of the weights you were never meant to carry forever. Let's begin.